Hey guys, it's Wahima.
Hi, and I'm also Chris. Welcome to Talking Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends to discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, honey, which can be, it can be just riddled with our own insecurities. Are we nice enough? Are we smart enough? Are we funny enough? But at the end of the day, hopefully, we're mildly sweet. So if we were in a pod and you wanted to hear our personalities, you'd pick us to marry you for the rest of our lives. Yay!
Hello.
We
So we are talking
yeah.
Love is Blind season 4 episode 1. Welcome to the pods. This is Chris's inaugural I might say this but I might be wrong. Is this your first time recapping Love is Blind?
I think so. I
Wow.
do. But I have watched it before, so excited to be back and talking about it. Yeah, no, I'm down for this. Truth be told, we obviously do docu-series usually, and the typical shows we follow, like 90 Day Fiance and Love After Lockup. And when this came around, we were kind of like, oh, this is really interesting. And we're also somewhat interested in another show that's going to be on TLC called Seeking Brother Husband. But we don't know about that one. We're not sure. This one, however, Love is Blind is fascinating. So if we duck out of doing, the cult crime, whatever crazy MLM kind of docuseries for a minute to give you a tried and true love experiment on only 10 episodes. Here it is for you, the people. Is love blind? Wah? Is it?
No, it's not. The truth is, you have some yahoos and bobos and idiots who get in this one and they're like, "Are you Asian? Are you Vietnamese? Chinese? What are you?" I like to wear leopard. Me? I'm a stripper. They come in here and they just do the most because they want to get some kind of airtime. It's like Andrew from season 3 who like pretended to cry on TV. It was the fake cry heard around the world. Hello everyone. So we are moving into a Love is Blind situation, and we're going to do our best to give you the deets about this show from our perspectives. You know what I'm saying? So let's start off in the beginning. So as you guys know, the premise of Love is Blind is hot singles get put into pods where they date for about an hour a day, I think. 15 other people. So 15 girls, 15 boys. They're sequestered into the boys and the girls side. And they're supposed to go based on personality only, but the truth is that this show is not putting anybody who isn't cute. And last season we had our first like thickums. We had our Jewish girl who ended up being with the cowboy. I can't remember either of their names, but you know who I'm talking about. She was like the first thickums, but she was like beautiful, like hot, kind of like brass. This season, not a thickum to be found. But we do have a very, very interesting angle. We have our first true Mean Girls.
Yeah, we do. As before we get into them, I guess let's meet Chelsea, who is not a mean girl unless you tell me she is. So Wah, just so you know, in between Wah and I, Wah has watched all 5 episodes of the first drop, and I have only watched this episode that we are now reviewing, which is of course episode 1. So if there's anything that I say now, you're like, she crazy because you watched more than me. God bless. But Wah knows. So Chelsea is very interesting. She's really pointed features, very delicate, like little nose. She loves Barbie Pink, loves Pink, and here's the thing, Barbie Pink had like a whole moment, aesthetically. And I like Pink energetically. It's supposed to be a good color because it's a high frequency color. It's supposed to sort of alleviate certain, I guess, negative negation in your life and or make you feel happier. I don't know. Happier? Ma, have you heard of that?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard that at all, but I will say that
Oh.
Chelsea, just alone, the fact that she
Mhm.
brought 21 pairs of shoes
Mhm.
immediately puts me on her side. Immediately.
Yeah, like did she have shoe bags for them all? How many bags were they? Like where are they put in the house? Does she have her own shoe rack? Are they all heels? Are they because here's the thing. Shoes are really important. You have like different shoes, different colors, and if you are an anxious person and you're going on a reality show for the first time, I can't imagine what you think you should bring just in case. Just, I mean, I would have rated a DSW before I got on the show. I would have just like, I don't know what to tell you. I would have just been like, I need everything. They'd be like, do you need like mountain hiking UGG boots? And I'm like, just in case, I don't know, maybe. Here's the thing. I comfort shop. So she comfort wears pink. So I like her. She also talks about the fact that like it's obviously very easy for her to find a dude like she looks the way she does and dating apps exist and just like everyone wants to just like bone and it's like hard for her to find like a true meaningful relationship that's like good. So I think I obviously I can understand that. It is hard.
I heard her say that it's very easy to find a boyfriend. It's finding a husband is what she's looking for. And you know what? I would agree that I think without makeup, this could be very Mormon town or like, Amish town. She could give us a very like generic Sweden or German face, right? But throughout this, she doesn't actually wear any eyeliner. It's all just precariously placed eyeshadow and just like a little bit of a mascara situation. So she isn't like knocking them over, but she also is a classy lady who always has the right accessories. And the truth is sometimes the accessories could be big, but as long as you have them and it looks like you're trying, I'm on your side. Um, and so she like talks with Kwame. And Kwame is a very interesting character. And I have all the opinions on Kwame, which I have given over and over again. But Chris, I would like to know what your opinion of Kwame is. Like when you heard this person say that he thought about going by the name Alex instead, what did you think of that?
I was like, oh, this is just like a guy that like wants to be on TV and he wants to like get to the end of some way and he doesn't really care about finding a wife or like, and he's kind of like suspect. And then Micah takes him down, right? Because she's like, oh, I'm so glad you didn't because like it wouldn't be your authentic self. And I'm like here to like, and I would have felt it because like I'm here about energy. And then we also then kind of like get introduced to Micah. Okay. So, um, Micah, this is actually like a better picture of Micah. You know what she looks exactly like to me in this picture? Who Kevin hooks up with on Love After Lockup when is it Amber? When Kevin and
No,
when
yeah, it's like
Tiffany?
Kiva or no,
Tisha?
Tiffany. Tiffany is the one that he's the dark haired one. It
Yes.
is like
Kara? Kara? No.
it's like
This girl?
I don't know. Um,
But look at her
okay.
face. Watch. Tell me that looks like her.
It does look like her, except for it looks like, and I say this understanding what I'm saying, it looks like the white version of her.
That girl's so white. That's what I'm talking about.
I know. And Micah is the white version of her. Yes, that woman who was with Knock a Pussy Out Kevin is the less white version of Micah.
Okay, I mean, yeah, I can see that. I can. They look so similar to me, but just everything is just like fake lipped. But there's every now there's
It's
like
fake
certain
lipped.
like oh the filler in lips that has taken over the world like a cancer. Like everyone has it, and it just everyone looks the same. And I'm only saying this because I want to be your big sister and big friend. Filler can be dissolved. It's not 100% thing. And if you're thinking, I want to go natch, this is the opportunity for like a big sis energy moment for me to be like, do it. Just dissolve that, like you can do a little bit, but like there's all of these girls who are like protruding lips in such a way and you can't even see their lip line because it's so out. Like, and this girl has that kind of thing. And here's the thing, you can also tell me, listen, she gets two dudes to be like obsessed with her, and I would say, well, yeah, and you can't even see the lip fillers when you threw that, unless they can hear the lip fillers, but I can see them. It's so interesting. Can they hear the lip fillers like slightly vibrating? She does seem to entice not only Kwame but Paul, and I try and like think why? Like, because it's so off-putting to me. It's that I will isolate that her voice is high. She seems to be positive, and her dumbness is a overall vague ditziness that is non-threatening and also non-committal in some way. Because you don't even have to commit to either really knowing what she's saying is the dumbest thing ever or only slightly okay.
Yes, I would like to rewind back to Kwame, and I would like to change Kwame's ethnicity to Arab. And I would like for his name to not be Kwame, but his name to be Mahmoud. And I want you to picture a world in which Mahmoud says to America that he would like, or he even thought of changing his name to Alex because he doesn't want to be judged. Now, what is your opinion?
He's a little bit of a P word. You don't like P word.
Okay, so here's what it is that
I'm giving full face.
Kwame is somehow susceptible to whatever white supremacy has done to him. And so he has decided that his good African name means born on a Saturday is in the way of him achieving some sort of American dream or achieving acceptance by white women and their family that he would consider.
That part.
Thank you. He would consider going on national television as a different name. This isn't 1995 or even 2005, when in order for a black person to get a job, they had to, instead of going by the name LaQuisha, they went by the name Sean. Like, that makes sense, right? But in the year of our Lord 2023, this 32-year-old black man who graduated high school like 12 years ago, which would have been like I don't know math. It would have been like 2012 or something, 2013, is considering going on a reality show and changing his name from Kwame to Alec because he doesn't want to be judged. And also, he's crazy if he thinks that his voice sounds moderately white. Like, it sounds like very middle, California or whatever, but that bass, that voice, that is the voice of a black man. And so it really is quite odd to me. Not odd, but it's just like whenever I find somebody who is struggling with their blackness and what that means in this world in this time, it always just brings me back to earth to know we have such a long way to go. And I try to be gentle with those because I don't know how white supremacy has affected them. But he talks about how the fact that he doesn't want to be judged for what he looks like because he wasn't able to pick up his prom date from her house because her parents would not have accepted him. And then I said, well, then you shouldn't have fucking taken that person out to prom.
I understand. I understand what you're saying, and obviously he goes full fucking throttle at what Wah would call white Kevin's, whatever, jump off, like the white, I'm sorry, I can't, like he goes full throttle at Micah, who is very, 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 very crystally, a certain kind of white that is arguably like low level and trashy. And I mean that in the way that is basic and insecure and I mean bargain basement when it comes to certain amounts of like style and grace and elegance. If your thing isn't that, if your thing is basic porn star, my god, like that's it. It's like
she's like a Havasu girl.
Hair. Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna have like fried, or these girls in Orange County too. I feel bad, but it's like I need to change your life. Like put some conditioner in your hair. Stop wearing the extensions. Like dye it down. Like stop with the fillers. Don't have like such crazy eyelash extensions. Like take it down and just like show your natural beauty. Like that is what it's at. And a lot of these girls have it. And then what is really, really impenetrable is just this walking filter they need to put on that makes them look like everyone else. It's just so sad. But she has it too. But it's almost like you can hear that in someone's voice nowadays because there is there is an inauthenticness to Micah's tone and voice, every sort of conversation topic that they have and edits of her talking to these guys.
And you
And then,
know,
of course, you see her and it's the same, and you're like, they know it. They're picking this,
yeah.
you
And
know?
Paul says that her voice sounds sultry. And I
I
thought to
know.
myself, what in the fuck does sultry mean to you?
Yeah, he says it sounds soothing, and it's like I thought to that like, oh, it's because it's easy. He's easy. She's easy to talk to because it's just no, it's like watching bad reality television requires so little of you, but just mild entertainment. And then mild thoughts that this person is more attractive than others because they do sound so dumb. Like
Yeah.
that is, it has to be something like that. Now, Paul, of course, is a scientist. He comes on being like, oh, I'm into this to be like an experiment, honey. I'm gonna like check the experiment. Like Paul actually, I think, does have a good voice and like teeters on being almost like too low and sort of like marbly barbly in his like words, but I find that attractive, and also so does Micah. So Kwame likes Micah, Chelsea likes Kwame. Wait, Chelsea likes Kwame. Kwame likes Micah. Micah likes Paul, and Paul
Likes
sometimes in a
Amber.
situation with Amber. So early on, we get this like thing. And Amber, of course, we just as we get through all of this, Amber is a little like taller and has like a lower voice. And the first part is like serving a lot of like Amber, like the stone. Paul meets her, is like, oh, Amber like the stone. Cool, cool, cool. So okay, so
Tell me about yourself. Where's the favorite place you've ever traveled? She's like, well, I'm actually a flight attendant. He's like, that's perfect for us.
oh
And then she's like, yeah, Italy. And everyone's like, Italy, we want to go to Italy. Like, Paul wants a girl who wants to go to Italy.
oh no, you missed a part. Sorry.
Okay.
He sits down and he's like, oh, okay, cool. So what's your name and how are you? And she's like, oh, Amber, Amber, the stone. That just the stone thing that happened just now. Weird scientist. Have you been like clocking that? Like it really goes to show someone who's just, maybe like not in the present moment. Anyway, so yeah, then they have that whole traveling moment. But then go on, walk.
Yeah, so we find out that Amber has been married twice, and she acts like that's no big deal. And she's like, "Yeah, I don't understand why people get like weirded out when I tell them I've been married twice." And I want to go, "Bitch, because some people haven't even been married once. Weirdo, you should know that. Like, why are you acting like, oh my god, I don't understand why people are judging me? You're like obviously don't know how to pick a person to love you. Like you just say yes to anybody. So like there are discernments and situations that we're concerned for you. Now, not to say that you don't deserve to find love, but just this whole thing of like people are always so shocked. It's like, yeah, girl, you're 34 and you've been married twice. Let's slow down, huh? Let's slow down a little bit and just get to know how to love yourself for a little while. Um
She doesn't have any kids, right? Or does she have any kids? Like, obviously she tells us a sad story that like basically she got married and then found out that that person was just like immediately cheating on her. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't hear this. I don't remember the setup story.
Okay.
So then we meet Brett. Brett is like 35 years old, and he's I don't remember what he says in this episode, but he's cool. And then we've got Tiffany. Tiffany is 36 years old, and she's worried about being judged. Brett's 36. Tiffany's 37. And Tiffany's worried about being judged for her age. And I was like, girl, 37 is where it's at. Like, how are you even feeling anyway? Like, literally, I forget when people ask me how old I am. I'm like, oh, yeah, 40. And they're like, really? Yeah, girl, like, keep it moving. Also, for Tiffany, we should all know up front that's not a weave. That is her hair. Chris?
Wait. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't find out until episode 4.
Like, so yeah, sometimes like that, I mean, obviously she has like highlights in her hair and it's a really beautifully done, like as well. But like, that's what Chantel's hair looks like to me.
Yeah, but Chantel is not this woman has like a loose curl pattern. She's got like a 3B, whereas Chantel is like a 4A as far as
Okay.
hair goes.
I get that. I mean, I don't get that exactly, but yeah, I can see the little slight difference, or a difference. So let me just tell you that Brett tells us like a lot. So he tells us basically that it wasn't easy for him, and like a bunch of people died or whatever. Like just people just and I'll just tell you, like it's just makes her cry. She cries, 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 cries. But it's so interesting. She does a good job of this crying. She's like And then she'll like talk and she'll be like, that was really sad. No, so sorry about that for you.
I would be terrible at it. Like I would be like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you told me something so traumatic in the beginning of our relationship. Like shut up. Like you tell me that on date 5."
Well, we don't know what day this was, right?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. I'm assuming it's all day 1 though. So I would have been like, you're trying to trauma bond with me and I don't want it." Because I don't have that experience too. I'm like, God, you had no lights on when you were a kid, and like, what is that? Candles? Then that like messed you up. So then you became like withdrawn and started to draw. And then like you got a call from your sister-in-law and she told you something was up and you're like optimistic, and then that shit happened. And
Your
then
brother
you're like,
died. Oh yeah, your
yeah.
brother.
And then you're like, oh, and then I'm a designer now. Um, and I make tennis shoes. And guess what, girl? Cole Haan and Nike. We looked him up. He used to work for Cole Haan the same time I did.
Oh my God. I mean, no, I listen, I think it's hot that he, like really pursued something that he was good at and, like he did it on through social media. So he did it, he put it out there just like we're putting it out there. So it's, content creator to content creator and he's cute. That whole part, God bless. It just, I mean, it seems very early on they kind of like click in such a way and I'm happy for them and they're just, well, yeah, they seem to vibe and I like Brett a lot. Like I like Brett more than Kwame. Um
Mm-hmm.
let's just see. Jacquelina is someone else that we meet, and Jacquelina is super cute. She has also great hair.
But she's also crazy. Like there's something about her. Like
Oh,
she's
okay.
this hair is like I would say like a 2B or like a 2C. And she's crazy because she has like all these issues. Like it's always like the little cute ones who shouldn't have issues because they're like cute all their life that are like the ones that are kind of crazy. So she's like, I like Marshall and I like Josh. Like those are my guys. And she's like, I think Marshall is who I need to be with because he's different than the guys that I would normally date. And I'm also into JP. And this is like a smorgasbord. And I'm just here like a kid in a candy store. That's all we hear about her,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so then oh sorry babes. Keeping on my computer's going crazy. So then we also meet Irina and Irina is a little bit of like a thicker girl. God damn it, Tiffany, go away. Irina has a lot of makeup on. She's kind of looking like a, mild like Kim Kardashian-y kind of like person that wants to be like Kim Kardashian-y. She talks about the fact that she used to have really bad acne and it really made her like, feel bad about herself. That she got over that, but she still has the scars. But she's like, someone will just find me. She's also was born in Russia. And, it's like, okay, girl, at first you're like, yeah, okay, well, here's the thing. That's really, really hard. And we don't talk a lot about, I feel like acne and acne scarring and what it does for people in any sort of like real way of how damaging it can be to one's ego. I know that I've dealt with acne before on and off in my life. Definitely like 2 times I think in my life I've been on Accutane. And even now I take spirulacto like a low dose. So and now I don't have to worry about anything. But I could only imagine how difficult it is to be through high school and stuff like that to have really bad acne every day. You're like trying to cover it and people see it. It's just you know there's a lot of ways in which to feel shame about the way you look. And we can talk about weight or we can talk about and we do. Acne is just a whole different other one too.
Yeah, I didn't learn about the stress and the scars, the physical and mental scars of acne until like I was in New York City and I had a friend who suffered from it really bad growing up, and she like in detail explained like how she felt with acne. And up until that moment, like didn't know that people felt this way, and like probably wasn't as sensitive to certain people if they had it. And so like after that being like, unfortunately I'm one of these people that if I don't experience something, I need someone else to explain it to me. I I I have a hard time having empathy immediately. Like I'm able to like, I now do because I'm practicing it as like an HR professional. But like the beginning of my life, I was a horrible non-empathetic person. So like um I now know what that feels like, and I'm just like, wow. I felt for her in that moment. I felt like, okay, this girl has been through things, and then like after that, just like quickly dissipated with this asshole.
Yeah, so
We meet Zach.
yeah,
Zach is a
me
criminal defense lawyer, and he continues to tell people that he's a stripper, though. Like that's one of the first things that we meet about him. He tells Irina he's a stripper. He tells everyone he meets, and then he runs into Bliss, and Bliss is like, "Come on!" And girl, I can't believe she didn't believe him. I would have fully been like, "Oh my god, really? How much do you make?" Like I would have been immediately interested in wanting to date him, because at least at the very least he knows how to gyrate.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say at the very least he's gonna have some cash.
Oh, that's true.
Listen,
But
there's more. It's the 2-1 punch, honey. I mean, like, yeah, I forgot who it was. I don't know. In a very small montage, someone goes, "Oh no," and I was like, "Who was that? Do you remember that moment?"
no.
Yeah. So,
But
so
it's so
then he
funny.
opens. So he opens up and he's like, "No, guess what? I'm actually not a stripper. I'm a criminal defense attorney. But I've been telling everyone I'm a stripper, and you think it's funny." And sob story: my mom was a single mom stripper. So
Yeah,
that's
and like, I mean, we have this whole stop story, and I'm just like, there are some women who strip who don't have that experience. So I wanted to know what state he was in. That was
yeah.
my thought. I was like, where was she stripping?
They start to like talk and talk, and suddenly they're like, "Yeah, I just like I really love to like sing, and this is my favorite song." Zach says is "I Hope You Dance," and then Bliss is like, "Oh," and they're like, "Yeah, I just love that song so much." Like Bliss is like, "That is my mom's song to me." He's like, "No, you understand? That's my mom's dead single stripper mom song to me." She's like, "No," and they're like, he's like, "Yeah, at my wedding, that's the song I want to dance." At my wedding. She's like, "Shut up! That's what I want to dance to at my wedding, but not with you. With my, like mom. As I told you, it's my mom's song. Whatever." And it's like, I will tell you right now, like, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hate it. I will tell you that I think Libby from 90 Day would probably do a good version of it.
Yeah. I just am someone who has been so far away from the possibility of getting married that I don't ever think of, like, I think of the songs that I want to have at my wedding, and they're all bomb ass dance songs so that everyone has a good ass time dancing. Like, it's nothing sentimental. It's no like father daughter dancing shit. It is literally like Return of the Mac. Um, like,
I
you know
know the
that song.
song.
Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
But
really like it's like Return of the Mac, and then it's like Tevin Campbell come like, and then it's like some Jodeci, and then it's like obviously like I want a freak in the morning, a freak in the evening, just like
just
that.
like
And
that.
yeah, it's like Naughty by Nature. It's like, and it's just like maybe even a little MC Hammer, pumps and a bumps, like that MC Hammer. But then also I just want to take you through the like I just want to take you through the years, okay? We're gonna get that T-Pain. I'ma buy you a drink, ooh-wee, and then we're gonna give you some Fetty Wap. Um, Trap Queen. Yeah, we're going through the centuries, and then we're gonna go back to the 70s.
Centuries is you've been a big jump. That's why I was like,
And we're gonna do the 70s. We're gonna do like Earth, Wind, and Fire. We're gonna get the
mm-hmm.
Commodores in there. We're gonna get Diana Ross. We might even go back to like Jimmy, oh Jimmy,
Oh,
yeah, you better
when
hurry
I
back. Yep, it's like Motown.
oh.
hmm we're doing it. It's gonna. I That's what I think of, not like what song I can fucking sing with somebody. At that point, I'm like, who's giving me away? Nobody's paying my bills. I'm giving myself away. Go ahead.
So basically, then here's the thing. Chelsea is all up in Kwame's grill and being like, "Oh yeah, like and he's like being like, "Yeah, I just think like when you fuck someone and you're like married, it's like soul connection." She's like, "Oh my god, it's like our bodies are like together," and he's like, whatever. I think that's her and him. I can't remember. I hope that was them. That I hope it wasn't
I
someone
hope
else.
you
And I
dance
just
as
think
well.
okay. So then he goes to Micah, and he's like, "Hey, Micah, there's just like someone else here that like gives it all to me, just like spread eagle, and whatever. And she's like, oh, I is that what you're saying? Like you want to like choose that person? He's like, yeah, well, it just feels like, I just really need that. And she provides it. And she's like, Micah's like, anything good is worth fighting for. Nothing good comes easy. And I wouldn't trust anything that comes too easy anyway. Nothing comes free in this world.
And
I'm
he's
Micah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, so are you saying? And she's like, yeah, I mean, I know if I'm not giving you what you need, like I completely understand, but I don't think that you should just give in to somebody who's giving you everything you need because that's suspect. And so he's like, okay, then. So it gives him fucking hope. He thinks that like they're going to ride off into the sunset together.
He's like, so how are you feeling towards me? And she's like, well, I could really, I could see us being together. So, I feel really good about you, and he's like, okay, well then, that sounds crazy, but let's just get engaged now. Because he wants to claim her, you know what I'm saying? Like he's been hearing things. Well, things that had happened at different times.
Yeah, I don't remember that. So what I remember is him going back into the men's studio and being like, yeah, I'm really into Micah. Like I feel solidified by her. And then Paul freaking out and being like, but I like Micah. But like, I don't want Micah to go to him. Like I like Micah, even though he totally has this whole thing with Amber that's like super solid. He then goes back into the pod and sees Micah and then is like, hey, so yeah, like Kwame says like you guys are like getting really close, or he said something alluding to that, and she was like, yeah, but I really am feeling you, so if like you were feeling me, then like that would be so cool, because this is after the Mardi Gras situation where Amber comes in because Paul has given her flowers and those beads, and then Irina and Micah are like low-key talking shit about the fact that Paul gave Irina those things. And so she was starting to feel like Paul was kind of going towards Amber. And I truly feel like Micah can pretend like she would date a black man and actually marry a black man. But the truth is that she wouldn't, which is why when it came to the fact that the white guy she was talking to was going to date some other girl, she freaked out and she ended up making a pact with Paul that they were going to be together. So then she had to, when they come in the next time with Kwame, and Kwame then proposes to her, she then is like, she's like shocked.
You're
she's
right.
Like, oh,
you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm not ready for that. Like, like, I don't think. And he's like, all right, well, thank you for your time. And it was really a pleasure getting to know you. And he like walks out, right? He doesn't stop and say, what the fuck? Yesterday you were just telling me that something that comes easy, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So then she goes out and then she kikis with Irina about how dumb Kwame was for asking to marry her early. And being like, Irina's like, oh my God, why did he ask you so early? Like, that's crazy. You shouldn't have to choose right now. As though like that is the reason why she said no. But the truth is that Paul is going to ask her early because she and Paul made a pact. She's like, she just really wanted to be on this show. And she didn't want to be on the show with a black man that she would have to deal with later on.
I mean, I completely agree. Like I completely agree with how you're saying it. I mean, it's regardless if he went by Alex or not, she still would have picked Paul.
Yeah, and her and Paul didn't even have that much of a strong like connection. Like maybe they did, but they didn't show it. And Paul had a stronger combination, like stronger. And the same thing with Paul. It's like, why did Paul freak out and go after her? I don't know if Paul maybe judged Amber for Amber having 2 marriages or like something, but like Amber ends up boo-hooing, girl. Like when Paul breaks up with her, she's like, wait, is this the same episode? If you don't remember, it's not the same episode.
No.
Okay, great. Let me just back on up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't understand why everyone is going for Micah. I don't like there's some really like Jacquelina looks cool, like, but she has some other people like we in the episode 1, we get the periphery like montage of people. So I forgot who the asshole guy is. Do you know who that is off the top of your head, babe?
No, because if he wasn't
okay. So there's some guy that like, is like, oh, to this girl that is I haven't met either and not is here. Is there a lovely Asian lady that comes up later?
No, she's only in that one episode.
Okay, that's why we don't have the pictures.
Mm.
So this is like there's in the montage there's some gross guy who's like talking to some nice Asian lady, and then she's like, "Well, where are you from? Japan? Are you Japanese, Korean? Are you Taiwanese?" She's just like,
She doesn't want to
sh
answer because she's like, love is blind.
yeah, she's gorgeous. And I just thought to myself, like, why is Micah the person we're talking to? Is there no like really quality girls besides I think Jacqueline,
Yeah.
like or Tiffany? I'm sorry, Tiffany.
So I asked everybody who I was doing the live with, and they were saying that production chooses only a certain amount of couples. So if
Mm.
you aren't having an interesting storyline or you're like in the pod conversations didn't like catch anybody's attention, then you may have matched, but you're not they don't have the budget to talk about all the matches because I think there's like 15 or 20 women and 15 or 20 men. So it's like it can't just be 3 or 4 couples that make it. It has to be more than that, or 5 or whatever. Like, they don't have the budget to do like everybody that matches. So
I get that.
yeah, which is
I
kind of sad. I wish there was like a B side. I would watch the
Yeah,
B
you're
side.
you're absolutely right. I mean, listen, the strongest match that comes out of this right now is between Irina and Micah as like the meanest girls of the house who like bitch about everything, who like make fun of Amber, who are just like so insecure in so many ways. Or like, it feels like you see them and they're like registering as like 34. Like they might be saying they're 27, but they just. Well, what I'm telling you is immediately you can see them being 15 and nightmares,
Yeah.
just nightmares. So
This is a
another
picture
good.
that we found from the internet where it shows what Irina looked like when she smiles. So unfortunately, when Irina smiles, her eyes close completely. And she looks like this little blonde-headed boy in this photo. Irina, every time somebody's going through a different this is what she looks like an overzealous asshole kid.
Yeah, eating what looks like either Fiji or Gala apple.
Yeah, shout out to Escape to Reality podcast.
We
They're a
love
friend
you.
of the pod. They're also doing Love is Blind. So if you want to kiki and hee hee ha ha with 2 exceptional ladies, check out Escape to Reality podcast.
Yeah, please do. So this also episodes has a disasterly situation where Brett has told Tiffany like every sob story, but then he gives her like this present or cover or something like that. So basically, she gets this present that is the shoe, and the shoe is like, oh, this shoe is the first shoe I like designed or whatever. And she's like, oh, cool, I can't wait. Thanks for this little tiny shoe. Like it's not like there's so many things that's like it's not a shoe she can wear. It's not like a pair of baby shoes, like, we'll just see what happens. It's just like this little thing that he got. She's like, oh, it's your first shoe. Like, great. And then he just like starts talking more about like wham, wham, wham. And then she passes the F out. Like, I don't know what's in those gold goblets we can't look at. I don't know what she's been drinking, but she snuggle buggles on this couch. And every girl, like, kicks off their shoes. I don't know if that noise wah, but like, there's she just lays down on this couch, honey, with like a fur throw, and she just like put on a Netflix show and pass out sees wild. So like she just passes out. And so he's like, I just love you so, and this is what happens. He's like, so she's passed out and he's like, you're the one. No, I think that you're the one. I gave you those shoes. There's no one else I'd give those shoes to. I love you so much. Like can we do the thing? And he's like, please, excuse me. Can't, can we do the thing? Jacqueline?
Tiffany.
Jacqueline? Oh, Tiffany?
Tiffany.
Shit. Tiffany? Tiffany? To edit it out. Tiffany? Just kidding. Tiffany? And then she doesn't answer because she's like, anyway, then he like leaves and he's like so pissed that he goes back to like talk to his bros and he's like, no, I was pouring my heart out. I give her that shoe and now she passed out. Like I loved it. Wow.
And then the girls come in and they're like, hey, Tiffany, honey, babe, hey, Tiffany, Tiff. Tiff, and they're like, you gotta wake up. And then they start singing some like 2000 song. It's like, oh, I'ma buy you a drink. And she's like, buy you a drink. She gets up. And
That
then
must
she's
happen in
like,
episode 2. I don't know.
oh, you didn't, oh, the end of the episode, she's just asleep.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't do this with you. I can't do this with you.
I don't.
I can't do it
remember
because
that.
I don't know where we're at.
They got the rights to some 2000 song and they
Really?
played.
No, they don't play it. The girls, other girls from the pod, they like come in because they recognize that she hasn't exited. I don't know if producers sent them in to get her. She fully goes to sleep and he just like storms back to the men's side and complains about
Yeah,
how she
yeah,
fell asleep. And so
yes.
then next episode, she's like, and then some girls like knock on the door and then they come in, two girls. I don't know. One of them might be Chelsea. I can't remember. It was a blur. I was clicking at the time. And she like they
Okay.
walk in, they're like, hey, Tiff, hun. They're like trying to like easily wake her up. And then she's like, they're like, then they like do something. They're like, you gotta get up. And she's like, I gotta get up. But they sing some song that we recognize. And she's like, hey. And then she's like, it's over. And they're like, yeah, babe, you fell asleep. And she was like, Brett. Like, it's that. It's, it's so funny. You gotta
Did she
watch
think
it.
she was on something or something, or she just? I mean, I can't wait to find.
She
Listen, no, I
said
can't
she was
remember.
just
No, 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 shitty.
okay. Okay. All right.
Shitty, shit. Okay, so.
All right.
Well, listen, I'm into this. I think I'm into this. So I know I'm into this. So I want to follow only 10 episodes. This is probably what the docu-series will do while this happens. This is our Netflix docu-series, just an episodes. It's Love is Blind. It's an experiment. It's very important. We're doing the work. So we're just like Paul. We're here for the experiment. The science of it all. Make sure it's all legit. We love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for being on this journey with us. If you want to follow us on social media, you absolutely can. We are at DocuSweeties on Instagram, at DocuSweeties on TikTok, and at DocuSweeties1 on Twitter. And this whole time we've been live streaming, and for some reason my camera on my computer like really zooms in on my face when it wants to. So this entire live stream has been, I mean, a headshot. It's a headshot. I mean, it's like this is a traditional headshot. So I guess this is like literally a face shot. It's a face shot. It is like.
If you would like to see
Real
the visuals
close.
of what you're listening to, you can do so on patreon.com/DocuSuites. And that is $10 a month. It's just 2 Starbucks coffees a month. You guys, you can absolutely afford it. If you want to get some extra content from us, like be prepared. I honestly think that I am really committed to watching old seasons of 90 Day Fiance and just coming on here and like giving it a Patreon content. So like if you guys are interested in the early seasons of 90 Day Fiance and you want to hear my wacky thoughts on it, join us. Leave your field to flower. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will see you next time. Please check out the other things we've got up right now. We probably have up 90 Day Fiance the Other Way with a special guest. That special guest is Leslie DJ of Sinister Girls. She does a musical podcast where she does not musicals, but she interviews musical artists, and she has a new thing coming up where she's going to be interviewing one of the members of Heart.
Nancy Wilson.
Super cool. So check her out. That is Sinister Girls, anywhere you find podcasts. Again, we want to give a shout out to Escape to Reality, anywhere you can find podcasts. And then us, DocuSweeties. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a fantastic day. Bye.